Canva updates. Hello and welcome to this video where we will talk about the top features of the new updates for Canva this March of 2023. Now we all know that Canva is a design platform that offers an intuitive and user-friendly interface for creating beautiful designs. Over the years, Canva has evolved and improved with new features and updates that makes designing even more efficient and effective. In this video, we'll take a closer look at some of the latest updates and features that Canva has introduced. Now, the first feature that we are going to talk about is the feature layers. As you can see right now on our canvas, we have a very messy arrangement of elements. We have cuts as our main features over here, and some of the cuts are behind the elements where they shouldn't be. Now, before the update, what we would usually do is we're going to select the elements and then we're going to click on position, and we would individually arrange them by clicking on these buttons forward, backward, to front, and to back. That is how we usually do things before. For example, this cat tower over here, we're going to send it back so that we would be able to have our cat in front. We would also select this element over here, this background element, then we're going to send it to the back to make it more appealing. Now, as you can see, there are still some elements that we would need to fix. And it is a very time-consuming thing to individually select each element and fix their position by doing this process over here. Now, in this update, Canva has introduced this feature called layers over here beside the arrange option. Now, when we click on the layers, we would be able to see every single elements that we have on our canvas, and that we would be able to rearrange them by simply dragging on the specific element we want to move. And just like that, you would be able to easily arrange which element would be on top and which element would be on the bottom. Now we're going to arrange this and fix it properly, and the correct arrangement for our canvas over here is that all the cats should be in front and all the cat towers should be at the back. While having this background over here, the white panel as the additional background, so we're going to keep it on the bottom over here, and we're simply going to drag all the cat stand to the bottom. And just like that, we were able to fix the arrangement for our elements very easily. The cats are now on top of the cat towers and none of them are overlapping in the wrong way. There's also more options over here where it says overlapping on the top right, and over here this is where you will be able to see elements that are overlapping with each other so that you would be able to easily fix them, just like what we did over here. Now, this is very helpful and very efficient way of arranging your elements, especially if you have a lot of elements in your screen and it would give you a very hard time to arrange them. And using this feature over here, this will save you a lot of time. And I think this is one of the best features that they added in this update. Now, the second update they added is called gradients. As you can see, our background right now is very plain and our canvas looks very empty. So Canva added a feature that lets you add gradients to your color. So we're going to show you that right now. We're simply going to click on our background, which is this color purple, and we're going to click on the background color on the option over here. And in this area, this is where we will be able to change our different colors. And as you can notice, when we hover our cursor on top of the specific color that we have selected, we have this icon over here which would let us edit this specific color also. For example, when we click this is the first thing we would see. We would be able to edit the color by doing this. But as you can notice, there is this option over here on the right which says gradient. So when we click this, we would have the option to style this page directly on our color section. Now before, when we try to do this, we would search in the elements and then search in gradient, and then we would drag and drop it into our canvas. That is how we usually do this before. But now, we are able to do it with whatever color we want, and there is also different style options over here. For example, we're going to go with this option. As you can see, the sides are darker than the middle. This gives our design more depth and would help us make our canvas less boring. As you can see here, we have the gradients color options over here. We could change this by simply clicking on this, and then we could change whatever color we want. As you can see, this color is the color in the middle, so when we change it to white, it's going to get more brighter, and if we change it to black, it's going to get darker. Now on the second one, this is the outer ring. We change it to darker, just like that. We can change the color to whiter, darker, and any color design you want. We can also do it with a different color, just like that. And as you can notice, there's also an add a new gradient color option over here. And by clicking this, you would be able to add a third color into your gradient. We could have a darker ring over here just like that. And as you can see, the first gradient color is in the middle. The second gradient color is on the second layer of our gradient. And our third gradient is on the outermost side. Now you could use this creatively, and you could also change the styles and choose from the different styles that you have by clicking on these options over here. Now we could add more. For example, we're going to add white. And as you can see, it's probably not a good idea to have too many gradient color over here unless you find a way to make them work very well. For example, we're going to try and make it look better. For example, we're going to add more gradient. We're going to edit our gradients over here. We can change this to up, and just like I told you earlier, may not be a good idea to have too many gradient color, but if you were able to make the colors interact in a good way, it would look very good, just like we did earlier over here. And some designs aren't as pretty, so you would have to choose a very good style so that the color grading would work very well. Now, the third feature that we are going to talk about are the different AI features. Now, if you look over here on the bottom right, we have this Canva Assistant option over here. And when we click this, we would have this option, Magic Design and Magic Write. What we're going to focus right now is on the Magic Write. So when we click this, we would be able to add words or description on what we want to write. Basically, this is like a chat GPT, but on Canva. Previously, we are only able to use the Magic Write feature on the Google Docs. But right now, we are able to use it on any versions we like. For example, right now, we are at the presentation version of Canva. And we're going to try this out. For example, give 5 ways to give love to your cat. It's like that. And then we're simply going to click on enter. And just like ChatGPT, the Magic Write will create us a content that is generated by AI. And as you can see, it has given us 5 content over here. Now we could also click this once again, and we could either summarize the text, expand the text, or rewrite this text. For example, we want more than 5, we can simply click on expand text, and the AI will create us more content over here. We now have up to 13 ways over here. Now, these features are not limited to AI generated content, but you can also use this with your existing content. For example, something you wrote, you would be able to use this feature such as summarize text, expand text, and rewrite text. You can also use it on other AI generated content, and in general, this is very useful. For example, you have a lot of content and you feel like there is too much information for you to use. For example, maybe your infographics and you have this content you want to add, but you don't know how to summarize it because you feel like every content is important. So you can simply use this Canva Assistant and click on summarize text over here, and the Canva Assistant will summarize your text just like it did over here. It's going to focus on the important parts, and it will give you a suggestion on how your output would look like. Now, another AI feature that is improved upon is the Magic Editor. When we click our photo over here that we would like to edit, we can click on edit photo over here on the top left, and we would have these 2 new options over here. And we would have this option over here. We have the Magic Eraser and the Magic Edit. Magic Edit allows us to select a specific part of our image to change into something else. For example, we're going to try this. We're going to select on Magic Edit, and we're going to choose something on our photo to change. For example, this jar of pencils over here, we're going to highlight this. Make sure that you are hold clicking so that you would be able to highlight everything just like this. And then you can click on continue over here, or you can increase your brush size over here actually, which makes your brush bigger, so you would be able to change things that are bigger, or you could make it smaller so that you would be able to highlight smaller things, for example. And after doing this, after highlighting the specific object that you want to change, you can simply click on continue over here. It's going to ask what you would like to replace it with. For example, we're going to replace it with a sleeping cat, just like that. As you can see, there's also inspirations over here like the green hair, party hat, sushi, where you can add it into your prompt. We're simply going to have this as our prompt, a sleeping cat, and we're going to click on generate. Now, this technology is new and improving, and as you can see over here, if the images aren't right, you can simply report these images so that they could improve this new feature. And as you can see, Magic Edit has provided us with 4 examples, this image, and this one. These 2 images over here doesn't look that great, but this 2 looks very great. As you can see, the Magic Edit is like a mini AI photo generator, like Midjourney or Blue Willow. And if you're not happy with the result that is given to you, you can simply click on Generate New by clicking this option over here, and it will generate more things that you can use to replace the photo that you have selected. And as you can see, it has provided us with more options over here, and you can simply select the one that you like the most, and after selecting, you can simply click on Done, and just like that, the photo that we have selected was replaced with whatever prompt that we have added. You could do this multiple times. For example, you could also change the mug over here, and you could virtually change any part of the photo that you want to change. It's not going to be perfect since, as you can see over here, it's currently in the beta version, but it will improve over time. Now the next thing we're going to check out is the Magic Eraser. By doing the same thing, we're going to select the photo we want to edit, and then we're going to click on Edit Photo. And now, like we saw earlier, we have the Magic Eraser over here. We're simply going to click this, and we would be able to highlight any part of our image that we don't like. To remove this, we can increase our brush size over here so that we would be able to easily remove things that are very big, or you can make it smaller if the items you want to remove are pretty small. Now what we're simply going to do is we're going to highlight our specific object that we would like to remove from the photo. For example, I want to remove this eyeglass over here. We're simply going to highlight this, just like that, and after doing that, the Magic Eraser will try and remove the object from the photo, and just like that, the specific object that we have chosen is now gone. As you can see, it's not that perfect. You can see some smudges here and there, but overall, it works pretty great. We're going to try it once again. We're going to remove this plant over here and this paper. We're simply going to highlight these objects that we would like to remove, just like this. We're going to make sure that we are getting every single part of it, and we're simply going to wait, and just like that, the objects that we have selected are removed. And as you can see, there's a smudge over here once again, a black smudge, and like I said earlier, it's not perfect yet. They are still working on it, but overall it's pretty great. Now another feature that we're going to look at is the Canva drawer. It was an already existing feature, but they added improvements on this draw features over here. For example, we're going to select our marker, and we're going to select our color over here. This is where we will be able to select any color we want. For example, we're going to have this yellow color over here, and we're going to have the marker, highlighter, or we could use eraser also, or a pen if you want a thinner drawing. So we're going to try and draw something right now. For example, we're going to add lines just like this, and we could add a crown if you want. The lines look smoother the faster you draw, and if you slow down, for example, we're going to draw slow, the lines would be thicker just like this. It would have a very thick lining, but if you draw fast, you would have a very smooth line just like this. And the great thing about this is when you click on this pointer over here, you would be able to select a specific drawing as an element, and you would be able to change the color over here. You could add gradients to it by doing the same thing we did earlier. You could change it to any color you want. We could use the gradient we made on the earlier slide. You could also change it to the photo color, maybe just like this. You could also enlarge the drawing by dragging it like this, and you would be able to edit this drawing just like any element you would have when you put it into your canvas. You could also add animation to it if you want, like rise, just like this. And you could do this with every single drawing that you have. For example, this individual drawings that we made earlier, we could make this bigger just like that. Now you could use this very creatively. Now the next top feature that we're going to check out is the layer feature. As you can see right now, I made this a very simple page. It's a bit messy like this is over here. It's not very balanced and I don't really like it. And if you're not really good with positioning your different elements and making it look good, you can simply click on the designs over here. And as you can see, there is a layout option over here on the middle of templates and styles. We're going to select layouts, and Canva would suggest us different elements we could design our page. For example, we have this different options over here. and we could change it by simply clicking on the specific options, and Canva would provide you with options that you could use as a layout for your page. This is basically good for people who are not that good with putting together their page. They could simply go over here and select on the different options they could lay out their page. And as we are seeing here on the left side, there are multiple of options, for example this one, and all of this layouts looks very good, to be honest. And using this feature, you would be able to level up your different contents that you are creating. Now if we go to a blank page over here, we would be able to see more options that we can have on our layouts. For example, our title page, there are multiple options over here. There's also agenda options, just like this. You could choose any of this layout, and then you would be able to put in your photos over here, your text, and the layout section would give you different suggestions on how you should lay out your page. For example, we're going to try and add a photo once again, and we're going to select a random photo. For example, this one, a cat photo, and we're going to go back to our layout over here. And as you can see, we would have more options once again over here, just like what we saw over on this page over here. Now, another feature that we are going to check out is the text to image feature. This is like the AI generated image that we are seeing in the internet right now. And to use this, we're simply going to click on the apps over here on the left side, and we're going to see this option over here. This is the text to app. We're going to click this, and we would be able to enter prompts to create for us. Right now I have this prompt over here. We're simply going to copy this and paste it on our prompt section over here, and we would be able to choose any style we want. We could choose from filmic, dreamlike, watercolor, retro anime, photo. We could also have more styles by clicking on the CL. There's colorful, 3D, retrowave, concept art, 3D model. I'm going to try anime maybe. We have this anime style as our main style for our prompt. There's also aspect ratio over here. We could choose from square, landscape, portrait. I'm going to go with landscape, and then we're simply going to click on create your image. And just like earlier, it's going to provide us with 4 images to choose from, and we would be able to choose any of this option. And as you can see right now, it has provided us with 4 different images that are based on an anime style. We have this style over here, which looks really great. There's also this. Now, if you change your mind about the style, you can simply scroll down a bit and you can click on whatever style you would like. For example, we're going to go with 3D, and then we're going to click on create again. And this will recreate our prompt into the specific style that we have selected once again. I'm going to delete the images for now, and as you can see over here on the left side, it has generated images with the 3D as its main style. As you can see over here, we have 3D cats as our background. Now, another amazing feature that Canva has added is an animated feature. Now, for example, right now we have this element over here of a person walking. We're going to simply click this, and we can click on animate over here on the top, and we would have this new option, which is create an animation, which would allow us to drag elements around our canvas and create our own animation. So this is what we're going to try out. We're going to click this, and it's going to give you instructions on how you could use these features effectively. The animation that we want this element to do is to give it a walking animation, because its action is walking, so we're simply going to make it walk to this direction over here. And as you can see, our element is moving on its own. It is based on the path that we have drawn by dragging it around. We could also see over here, we have the original styles. We could change it to smooth, which makes the element's movement smoother. There's also a steady option over here. There's also orient element to path, which we will check out later on. There's also a speed option over here where we could make the movement of our element much slower or much faster, just like this. And after playing around with its settings, you can simply click on done, and that would be the settings for your custom animation. You can simply click on to change the settings and simply click on done after doing that. You can also delete the path by clicking on this delete path, and you would be able to create a new path for your element. For example, slowly drag it by doing this. It's going to follow the same speed as my cursor, and as you can see, it's doing the same speed, and it's a bit rough, so you could change the movement style to smooth, just like that, and it would make the movement much smoother. we're going to try out the orientation element to path with this new element over here. We have a cat on our UFO. We're going to click on create an animation, and we're going to move it around slowly, just like this. We're going to give it some movement, making it turn left and right, just like this. And as you can see, our element is moving. Now I'm going to show you how the orient element works. So we're just simply going to enable this. And as you can see, our element is moving along the direction it is going. It's not the smoothest movement because sometimes it's glitching out, but it's actually pretty cool that it changes orientation depending on the path. We're going to try that again. We're going to delete the path, and we're going to create a more simpler path that it could follow, just like this. And we're going to enable the path element again, and as you can see, it's changing direction as it moves with the path, and that seems very great to me. And that's it, guys. Those are the top features that Canva has added this March of 2023. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.